Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode. Today we go to New Hampshire for the Cup Series and the Xfinity Series. This is the track that we got our first career win at in the Cup Series, so we're hoping for some good things today in the race. But first, obviously, we had the Xfinity Series race, and we had Matt Kenseth in the car for this episode here in New Hampshire. We were expecting some pretty decent things, and Kenseth actually qualified in the third position, so a great effort in qualifying by the driver of Kenseth. He would make a bit of a mistake there in turns 1 and turns 2, but he would be able to quickly rebound as he would be able to get up towards into the third position, now making a pass down into turns 3 to take second away from Daniel Hemrick later on in this event. But unfortunately for Kenseth, that was pretty much as far as he would be able to get here in New Hampshire, as he would kind of stall out after getting to P2 as he came down the final back straightaway for the final time, going into turn 3 on the final lap. He sent it in pretty deep, trying to get to the back bumper of Christopher Bell, maybe trying to move him, but he couldn't quite get there. And as he came out of turn 4, Matt Kenseth would still have a great run for our team and come through down the front straightaway to finish in the second position. So I wasn't really disappointed with that. Obviously, a second place finish is pretty good for us. Obviously, that one extra spot there to get the victory would have been really nice. But there you see the point standings now as our team sits P10 in the standings after that race. But now it's time to set our sights on the Cup Series race. Hopefully we can maybe get win number 3 on the season here today. And we usually qualify pretty good here and run pretty good, so I was expecting good things. And as we came to qualifying now, heading down into turns 3 and turns 4, I made a little bit of a mistake there going into turn 3, so I was a little concerned when I was coming through the center of the corner that we might not even be in the top 10. But as we came down the front straightaway, it's going to be much better than I anticipated as we get P4 with a 30.481. So we will be starting on the second row on the outside as we get ready to go green here in New Hampshire. So let's see if we can move our way forwards to get a possible victory.
Today, the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series makes its one and only stop at New Hampshire Motor Speedway for the running of the Foxwoods Resort Casino 301. Opened in 1990, this 1-mile oval racetrack is in Loudon, about an hour north of Boston. New Hampshire previously hosted 2 NASCAR Cup events, but lost its playoff race to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway in 2018. So, these drivers only have one chance to make it count here. The green flag is in the air. Let's get ready to go racing on PRN.
Alright, we are ready to go green here for the Foxwood Resort Casino 301 here in New Hampshire. Alex Bowman with a rear gear change starting in the back, so that moves us up one spot because he qualified in third and one spot ahead of me. So now we're on the inside on the second row as we're ready to go green here in New Hampshire as the green flag is out, and we are on our way behind pole sitter Clint Boyer, but Kyle Busch gets an early launch over Boyer as we head down towards turns 1. And immediately into the corner, we're going to go a little bit wide, allowing Ryan Blaney to look to my inside as we go 3 wide here for a moment as Boyer is clear for the lead at a turn 2, but we get the position back to 4th as we come down the back straightaway behind Chase Elliott, and we're going to go down into turn 3, making a lunging move up his inside as we go down into the corner. And as we come through the center of the corner, now edging out in front of the 9 of Chase Elliott as we come out of turn 4, but he would be able to hang on my right side as we came down the front straightaway to come through to complete the first lap here in New Hampshire. Just 17 laps in this first stage as we head down into turns 1. Ryan Blaney all over my back bumpers. He nearly gets into me as we come through the center of turns 1 and turns 2. And we would be able to run down the cars up ahead as Kyle Busch, he would actually take the lead from Clint Boyer now as we come to lap 4, heading down into turns 1 and turns 2 behind the 2 drivers battling for the lead. As we come through the center of the corner, there's trouble behind though. The 22 of Logano gets into the back of Kurt Busch, and he goes spinning as Kurt Busch makes a save, but Logano goes around as the caution flies early here in New Hampshire, and obviously we'll get ready to restart in P3 behind Kyle Busch as a green flag would return, and we'd be immediately back to green flag racing as no one would have to come to pit road. Obviously now as we head down towards turns 1 and turns 2, Martin Truex Jr., our teammate, right behind us as we have Chase Elliott and William Byron battling behind us now as we go 3 wide for a brief moment with Truex and Blaney as we kind of slid up there. That's a problem on these restarts for me at this track, because we really like to slide up the track going into turns 1 now as we head down towards turn 3 side by side with the 19 of our teammate of Martin Truex Jr. now as we have 3 of the Joe Gibbs racing cars now in the top 5 as we come through out of turn 4, heading down the front straightaway side by side still with Martin Truex Jr., but we would be able to get past him down the back straightaway and send it up the inside of Clint Boyer as we had enough momentum to head down into turn 3 up his inside, but we went a little bit wide, allowing Martin Truex Jr. to once again come back up my inside through now as we come out of turn 4. we would fend off Truex and even get to the inside now of Kyle Busch as we came to lap 11, and we'd make a move to his inside through turns 3 and turns 4, and we would be able to take the lead from Kyle Busch now and take command of this race as we went down towards turns 1 with just a handful of laps to go now in this first stage. So at this point, we're leading now with about 4 or 5 to go, just trying to hold on here in stage 1, but now once again there's trouble behind as the 43 of Bubba Wallace has an issue, and he tries to save it but overcorrects into traffic of Daniel Hemrick, and around he goes as the caution would fly once again here in New Hampshire, this time late in stage 1 as we get ready to restart from the first position now as we're ready to go green as the green flag is back out. It's just 2 laps to go here in the first stage. All we have to do is make no mistakes to hold on to the stage victory as we head down towards turns 1. Blaney punts me from behind, and around he goes, spinning behind us, and we hold on to the lead for a brief moment as the caution flies again, and we barely edge out our teammate of Denny Hamlin for the stage victory as Jimmy Johnson gets up there into the top 5 before the stage is over. We would not have to pit. We had 3 cautions in that stage, certainly cutting a lot of laps out there as we get ready now to restart from first to start the second stage. So we got a playoff point in this race, so that's always good now as we now go green once again as stage 2 is officially underway here in New Hampshire. A very crazy start to the first stage of this race now as we head down into turns 1 and turns 2, trying to maybe get another stage victory if possible here now as Kevin Harvick, he's able to look to my inside as we go a little bit wide once again in turns 1 and turns 2, but we come down the back straightaway holding off the 4 for the brief moment now as we head down the back straightaway into turn 3 on this first lap in this second stage. Jimmy Johnson working his way inside the top 5. Certainly some rumors in our career mode floating around about maybe him or another Hendrick driver not going to be in their seat next season, because there's a driver like me maybe looking for a potential ride next season now as we head down into turns 3 and or turns 1 and turns 2, sorry, now as Harvick gets real close to my back bumper now, and he looks to my inside as we make contact there as we come out of turn 2. As we come down the back straightaway though, we would be able to fight off Harvick for the moment as we went down towards turns 3 and turns 4. And we would start to pull away from the 4 of Kevin Harvick as the more laps clicked off as we came to about the midway point of this race. Now we're about a second ahead of second place at this point as we came through out of turns 4, just about getting into the wall as the car was really starting to go away as we would end up getting another caution here in stage 2 as we would not pit. You see Harvick had actually fallen back quite a bit at this point as we're ready to go green again as the green flag waves, and we are underway side by side with the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, who's had a very rough season, but he got a top 10 last episode, and here he is now running in the top 10 again as we go down into turns 1 and turns 2, going wide once again, allowing the 48 to look to my inside as we come through the center of the corner. He is clear as we come into turn 2, but we're going to fight back on the outside of Jimmy Johnson as we come down the back straightaway, closing in on the end now of this second stage. About 5 or 6 laps to go as we're going to get down in front of the 48 as we go into turn 3 as he's going to try and fight back on the inside. He's going to do just that, but we come out of turn 4 trying to hold him off, but we're going to get into the wall as we come out of turn 4. A big mistake on my part as we slow up the 19 by accident there as we come across the line heading down into turns 1 and turns 2. Jimmy Johnson continues to pull away here as he takes the lead late in this second stage, and certainly he is fighting for his career right now because it has been confirmed that there's a Hendrick driver that's not going to be in their car next season in this career mode, and it could be Jimmy Johnson, but the way he's running today it might not be. Now as we come through at this point, the white flag is out in this second stage. Jimmy Johnson in command. He's had such a rough season after winning the Daytona 500, but last episode he rallied through to get a top 10, and now here he is about to win stage 2 as he's having 2 great runs in a row which he hasn't had all season as he's trying to rebound this horrible season and potentially the end of his career now as we come through turns 3 and turns 4. Jimmy Johnson would come out of turn 4 down the front straightaway to win stage 2, and we're going to hold off Clint Boyer now at this point for the second position. So Jimmy Johnson surely making a statement that he wants to be in this car next season for our career mode. Really, the 88 and the 24 are the 2 cars in jeopardy that could be replaced by a driver like me next season now, as we would come to pit road, take 2 cans of fuel and 4 tires, and we would have 15 cars or so stay out as we get ready to start this final stage. So that's going to certainly make things interesting as the green flag is back out, and we are on our way once again now as we have a lot of back runners up in front of us because they pitted earlier trying to play a strategy game on us race now as we head down into turns 1 and turns 2, and the 21 gets into the back of me, and spinning he goes now as he went off the bumper of Truex as we almost go for a spin into the grass as the caution would fly again at the beginning of this third and final stage. And thankfully everyone would be coming to pit road again, so I would come to pit road just to repair the car that we took because we took some damage from Menard now as we would come through out in P24. Paul Menard caused us to crash last episode, and he got into us again here today, but that back there, if you watch back, was 100% Martin Truex Jr.'s fault. He punted Paul Menard into the back of me, so I wasn't even mad at Paul Menard over this situation because I saw it happen in my mirror. So I forgave Menard right away. I knew it wasn't his fault now as we go down into turns 1 and turns 2. In the 24th position, we're going to get up to this outside lane as they're already getting very racing in front of us, going 4 wide, and we're 4 wide ourselves, 4 wide, 2 rows deep now as we go alongside Jimmy Johnson going down the back straightaways. We're going to get into the wall because Johnson's going to just push us up there as we come through turns 3 and turns 4. Certainly running out of room as we have a very hectic start here on this restart now as we come into turn 4. Harvick's going to slam me into the wall now as we take damage to the right side, and I knew right away that's not what we need because that's going to make the car really tight now later in this run as we head down into turns 1 and turns 2. I was not very happy with Harvick at the time because we had just had our race completely messed up, and now here we are getting even more damage to the car, so I was not very happy now as we come down the back straightaway, and I felt like we certainly owe him a favor now as we go 4 wide in front of us still as we go down into turns 3 and turns 4, and we're going to run Harvick up the track there as we come through the center of the corner, splitting in between him and Deegan as well as we kind of shove Harvick wide, causing him to lose positions, and we still work our way through the field as well as there's just so many cars all bunched up around here. One of the crazier kind of moments I've had at this racetrack. But we would continue to use this far outside lane to work our way forwards as you see me passing Suarez, Boyer, Kyle Busch, and even as we go down the back straightaway, getting into the back of the 9 there of Elliott as we go down into turns 3 and turns 4. Jimmy Johnson just up ahead as he won stage 2. He's trying to rally his way back forwards now as we come through the center of the corner, trying to look to the inside of Elliott, but unable to quite do so as we come out of turn 4, getting into his back bumper. We've gotten into him like 3 times in the last lap or so, but we would get past him and work our way up to the 12th position now alongside William Byron, and looking to the inside of Jimmy Johnson as we go 3 wide between them as we come down the straightaway. Elliott behind us as well as we had a bunch of Hendrick cars around us there as we're going to make a lunging dive bomb into turn 3 up the inside of Kyle Larson. We would re-enter the top 10 here late in New Hampshire, just over 25 laps to go at this point. And we would work our way up to P5 by the time we came to lap 19, lap 57, 19 to go, closing in on the back of Elliott, who had gotten past as we came through turns 1 and turns 2. He's side by side with Cass, and I just said, okay, we're going to go right up the middle between these two as we come down the back straightaway, heading down towards turn 3. I had to run, and I was like, okay, let's just go for it up the middle, and it pays off. We move into the 3rd position here in New Hampshire, closing in on the back of another back marker-ish of David Reagan. And now as we came to a lap later, lap 58, still behind Reagan as we come across the line. Elliott lurking behind as we head down into turns 1. And Elliott's going to give us a bumper as we go into the corner. In spinning goes the Napa 9 driver as we come through turns 1 and turns 2 as the caution would once again fly late in New Hampshire as he just tried to punt me right out of the way and wrecked himself. But we would be ready to go green from P3 behind the leader of Ryan Blaney as green flag returns here late in New Hampshire. Less than 15 to go, 14 to be exact, as we cross the line heading down into turns 1 and turns 2. Still a bunch of back markers around us as they stayed out obviously at the beginning of the stage. Getting sideways is William Byron. He's going to make a move as we make a big save out of turn 2. Byron goes from, I believe, 4th to 2nd here on this opening restart now as we head down into turns 3 and turns 4. Clearly he's showing that he has a good bunch of speed here in this race, that maybe he wants to be the guy that's not leaving this team next season now as we come out of turn 4 heading down the front straightaway. Byron closing in on the back of Blaney, and he was showing a lot of speed all of a sudden as we came to lap 64, just over 10 to go. Byron would make a move to the inside of Ryan Blaney, and he would drive through to take the lead late in New Hampshire. William Byron has never won a race in our career mode. He's barely run in the top 10. He's maybe got like 5 top 10s in like 100 races now. As we came through the next few corners, we would close in on the back of Ryan Blaney, coming down the back straightaway with 10 to go at this point, looking to his inside, running out of time to run down William Byron. As we went down into turns 3 and turns 4, we would clear Ryan Blaney and take over P2 here in New Hampshire, and Blaney would start to fall back a little bit as Byron would actually be able to pull away a bit as we came through now with just 6 laps to go in this race. And at this point, I was really struggling to run down the 24 as I was getting really loose on the entrance of the corner, and I was kind of too tight on the exit of the corner. So it was just really not good situation for myself. And as it came to just 2 laps to go, William Byron pulling away. As you see me just sliding at this point, going into turns 1 and turns 2. Joey Logano had moved up to P3 and he had run me down. Just a lap and a half left for William Byron, who's looking for career win number 1 in NASCAR Heat 3, career mode for us at least, as we come through turns 3 and turns 4. Logano on my back bumper. I'm desperately holding on at this point, as I know I have nothing left to give as we come through down the front straightaway. The white flag for William Byron is in the air as we go down into turns 1 side by side with the 22 of Logano. But as we go into turns 1, the car just slides up the hill as we come through the corner. Now Truex looking to my inside as we come out of turn 2, but we have the momentum down the back straightaway to clear him and hold on to that 3rd position as we head down into turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time. William Byron, no career wins in NASCAR Heat 3 career mode for us until today. That's going to change as we come out of turn 4. William Byron wants to keep his seat in that car as he wins in New Hampshire as we come through to finish in the 3rd position. And that was easily the craziest race we've had all season. That was just insanity throughout the whole time, and a surprise winner even, as William Byron shows speed here late in New Hampshire. He's maybe looking like he was going to be the favorite to be replaced next season at that team in our career mode, because we are making it known that we will not be returning to Joe Gibbs Racing next season. And we are kind of in line to replace the driver at Hendrick Motorsports. Jimmy Johnson's making it known he wants to stick around for another couple seasons, because we're probably only going to get 2 more seasons after this one in before the next NASCAR Heat game. So whatever car we go to next will likely be our last car. We'll do 2 seasons with it. But what a great race that was. And if you guys enjoyed, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be incredibly appreciated. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. In the next one, we will be going to Iowa in Xfinity, where we might have Carl Edwards back in the car, and we will be going to, I believe, Pocono in the Cup Series, which is a track that we won it last season, passing Chase Elliott on the last side. We had a solid run earlier there a couple episodes back, so hopefully we can manage to run really well again here in Pocono, as William Byron really changes up the playoff grid. Austin Dillon, now the first guy out, 23 back, so certainly going to change things up here as we head down towards the playoffs. Bowman tries to hold on to that last playoff spot, so we'll see how this playoff grid shakes out in the next one. I'll see you guys then. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have a great day.